Hi everyone, welcome to our last session where we're going to have a summary of all those 9 topics that we learned throughout those 9 sessions that we deliver. So let's start with reviewing topic 1 or session 1, which talk about the introduction of operation and supply chain management. Operation management is basically all those planning, scheduling, and control of many activities alongside all those supply chain activities to technically transform what we put in as a materials or needs or information into a finished good or service at the end. So basically, we do have inputs, it can be materials, intangible needs or informations. Then we have the transformation process happening, which is the manufacturing or service operations. Then we do have output, can be tangible goods or can be fulfill needs or can be satisfy customer at the end. So then we have supply chain. Supply chain is a bigger picture where it's the flow of products and materials all the way from the supply and come to manufacturer, and from manufacturer goes all the way to the customer. In this supply chain management system or network, we do have upstream where activities or firm position early in the supply chain, and then we do have downstream where we are more closer to the customers and position later in the supply chain. In terms of upstream and downstream, we do have different tiers. If they are closer to the main manufacturer in the middle, can be tier one, tier two. As far as it goes, those tiers numbers can even increase. Let's have a look at this great example of chocolate manufacturing. Right in the middle, we have the Cadbury Chocolate Factory, for example, in Tasmania, and then on the left side, we go to the supplier. So you can see on top, we have tier one supplier, and then it goes all the way to raw manufacturing. It can be tier 2 or tier 3, or when we're looking into, for example, where the chocolate comes from, where the dairy farms are, or the sugar canes from. So we're looking into all those raw manufacturing. Now when we're looking at the right side, technically you can see still on the top we have different tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3s. And also you can look into, we have warehousing, we have, for example, retail, and at the end is the end user. Who is the end user? Is the customer, right? So it's a great example of the entire supply chain. So Porter basically introduced the value chain model. As you can see, all those from the suppliers, they have their own internal value chain and potential customers, they have the internal value chain, and all of these are joined together. So if any of this, any part of this supply chain or value chain goes wrong, the impact is to the downstream. It's actually significant. So it's very, very important that we understand that. In Porter's value chain, we do have some primary activities that we mentioned previously as well: inbound logistics, operation, outbound logistics, sales and marketing and services. And we do have alongside some support activities like firm infrastructure, human resource management, technology development, and procurement. And all goes to a margin. Demand management refers to the process of controlling and influencing demand for a product or service. It involves various strategies to ensure that the demand for that product or service remain within manageable limits. So basically, it's the ability of the firm throughout the supply chain to collaborate on activities related to the flow of product or services, information, and capital. The goal of demand management is to balance supply and demand to achieve optimal efficiency, cost effectiveness, and customer satisfaction. This involves forecasting demand, setting prices, managing inventory levels, and implementing marketing strategy to influence customer behavior. Basically, we try to answer three main questions: what to make, how much to make, and when to make it. Having said that, to achieving this, there are many problems. All right. So some of this we mentioned here, like lack of coordination between departments, too much emphasis on the forecast of demand with less attention on collaborative effort. Demand information is used more for tactical and operation than a strategic purpose. There are some more as well. It's always good to be aware of those problem and challenges. So when we are aware of those challenges, then we can make a better decision. It can be forecasting accuracy as well. Forecasting demands is a critical to demand management, but it can be difficult to accurately predict future demand patterns. Changes in customer behavior, economic conditions, and external factors like weather can all impact demand. It can be capacity constraint, can limit the company's ability to meet customer demand. For example, if a company have limited production capacity, it may not be able to produce enough products to meet the customer demand, even if the demand is high. Customers are often price sensitive, and pricing strategy can have a significant impact on demand. Companies must carefully consider how changes in price will impact the demand and adjust those pricing strategies accordingly. And also competition can also impact the demand. If competitors offer similar products at lower price or with better features, customer may shift the demand to those products. Lastly, some of those problems can be technology and innovation. So, advancement of the technology and new innovation can change customer preferences and demand patterns. Companies must stay up to date with these changes to effectively manage demand. So, overall, if effective demand management requires a deep understanding of customer behavior, market condition, and internal capability of the company. Addressing those challenges that we cover of demand management can help companies optimize the operation, increase profitability, and improve customer satisfaction. Demand forecasting is the process of estimating the future demand for the product or service. Accurately forecasting demand is crucial for businesses as it enables them to plan production schedule, manage inventory levels, and set prices to meet customer demand. So the goal here is to try to minimize the forecast errors. The KPI, for example, is a percentage of forecast error in 12 months. The factors that influence demand must be considered. So we try to manage those demands. So in order to be able to manage it, we need timely and accurate forecasts. There are several methods that we can actually look into using the forecast, such as historical data analysis. The method involve analyzing past sales data to identify trends and patterns. This data are then used to the forecast demand. Market research involve collecting information about customer behavior, preferences, purchasing habit. This information is used to forecast future demand. Expert opinion involve using the knowledge and experience of industry expert to forecast demand. This method often used in industries where there's a limited historical data available. Statistical analysis involve using mathematical models to forecast demand. This method uses data analysis tools and technique to identify patterns and trend in historical data. And of course, in today's age of technology and emerging technologies, machine learning involve using algorithms and models to analyze data and make predictions. This method is often used in industry with large amount of data and complex demand pattern. So the accuracy of demand forecasting depends on several factors, including the quality and quantity of the data available, forecasting method used, and external factors such as changes in economy or consumer behavior. Despite these challenges, demand forecasting remains an essential tool for business to manage the operation effectively and meet customer demands. A good forecast provide some good outcomes like lowering the inventory, reducing stockouts, smoother production plans, reduce operation costs, improve customer service, and there are many more as well. Demand planning is a process that involves estimating future demand for product or service and developing a strategy to meet the demand. It is a critical component of supply chain management and it helps businesses ensure that they have the right amount of inventory, staff, and other resources to meet the customer demand. There are many methods out there, but in this session, we're looking into the two main important ones is sales and operation planning, or very famous as SNOP, and also collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment, which is CPFR. This NLP process is basically looking into five steps. In the first step, we try to gather all those data, sales forecast, forecasting, and everything. And then after we got all those in step one, we move to step two, which is we're looking into demand planning. When we know our demand and everything is sorted, we move to the step three, which is the supply planning. So we know the demand and we need to manage the supply. And when all these things happen in step four, there are lots of pre-meetings, arrangement, and many things need to be happen before we come to step five, which is we take everything to the executive meetings and present it, looking into conflict resolution, recommendations, agendas for exec management. And there are so many things where the executive team they make the decision, and this can be a cycle. It can be every month, it can be every, for example, trimester, it can be in every cycle. They might need to go through this. CPFR basically is actually developed to reduce the supply chain cost through collaborations among what may be many partners in a single supply chain. There are basically four elements to it. First one is the strategy and planning. So this involves laying down a strategy for collaborative relationship. The second key element is demand and supply chain management. So this is the element which focuses on sales and order forecasting and planning of order. Then we have executions when this phase looking into producing, stocking, dispatching, and all deliveries of the materials to the end customer. And of course, then we need to look into analysis that this element actually comprise the management of exceptions in the fulfillment process along with the assessment of supply chain performance. Demand planning is a process that involves estimating future demand for product or service and developing a strategy to meet the demand. It is a critical component of supply chain management, and it helps businesses ensure that they have the right amount of inventory, staff, and other resources to meet the customer demand. There are many methods out there, but in this session, we're looking into the two main important ones is sales and operation planning, or very famous as SNOP, and also collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment, which is CPFR. This NLP process is basically looking into five steps. In the first step, we try to gather all those data, sales forecast, forecasting, and everything. And then after we got all those in step one, we move to step two, which is we're looking into demand planning. When we know our demand and everything is sorted, we move to the step three, which is the supply planning. So we know the demand and we need to manage the supply. And when all these things happen in step four, there are lots of pre-meetings, arrangement, and many things need to be happen before we come to step five, which is we take everything to the executive meetings and present it, looking into conflict resolution, recommendations, agendas for exec management. And there are so many things where the executive team they make the decision, and this can be a cycle. It can be every month, it can be every, for example, trimester, it can be in every cycle. They might need to go through this. CPFR basically is actually developed to reduce the supply chain cost through collaborations among what may be many partners in a single supply chain. There are basically four elements to it. First one is the strategy and planning. So this involves laying down a strategy for collaborative relationship. The second key element is demand and supply chain management. So this is the element which focuses on sales and order forecasting and planning of order. Then we have executions when this phase looking into producing, stocking, dispatching, and all deliveries of the materials to the end customer. And of course, then we need to look into analysis that this element actually comprise the management of exceptions in the fulfillment process along with the assessment of supply chain performance. In integrated fulfillment, basically the retailer maintain both brick and mortar and click and mortar. So brick and mortar is actual shop, click and mortar is online store. So one store or retailer maintain both services at the same time. In dedicated fulfillment, what we do is both a store and can internet present with two separate distribution network, where one is dedicated for online ordering and the other one is dedicated for a brick and mortar actual shop ordering. So you can see in this fulfillment, we do have two separate fulfillment center. Then we have the next one where what they do is they actually outsource one of the fulfillment center to a third party provider. For example, the company is not very confident with online ordering, so they outsource it to a third party provider to do the business for them. They are more experienced, they have more expertise and everything in place to be able to make sure that the process goes as smooth as possible. Dropship fulfillments, also called direct store delivery, vendor delivers directly to retailer, bypassing the retailer's distribution networks. This basically works best for products that have a short life cycle. For example, milk, right? So the products that they have a shorter life cycle, this fulfillment model works the best. Store fulfillment, basically the order is placed through the internet, our website and or apps, and then sent to the nearest store for customer pickup. So that called store fulfillment. And also we have flow through fulfillment where the product is picked and packed at distribution center, then sent to the store for pickup by the customer. So this is the sixth model of fulfillment. So the first thing we need to cover is what is process or what's the meaning of a process. It's basically a set of logical related tasks or activities performed to achieve a defined business outcome. We do have different processes like primary processes, supporting processes, and development processes. Primary process is a process that addresses the main value added activities of an organization. Support process is process that performs necessary even if not a value added activities, and development process is a process to seek to improve the performance of the primary and support processes. So you can see in the big picture also we have different for primary processes where they are, support processes what are they, and also development processes as well. It's very important to visualize those processes, or we call it mapping. It's graphical representation of organizational relationships and activities that make up the businesses. So the purpose of mapping is create a common understanding of the content of the process, like the activities, result, and who performs at the various stage, define the boundaries of the process, and also provide baseline against which to measure the impact of improvement effort. So basically, a process map is a detailed map to identify some specific activities that make up the informational or physical, monetary flow of the process. You can see in this picture, for example, is a process of human resource management. So new position required, required a new person, yes or no. So you can see we actually try to put some lines and how the process goes through is the answer yes or no, some decision making, and if it goes yes, what are the consequences? If it goes no, what are the steps that we need to do to complete this process? And it goes on and on till end. That, for example, in HR management, they try to hire a new person at the end. There are some measure in place, but first, before we get into the measure, we need to be able to map the process. Now, when we come to the measures, we're looking into quality, cost, time, and flexibility. There is a measure for performance as well, where productivity equals to output divided by input. Benchmarking is a process of comparing an organization product, services, or processes against best practices from other organizations in the same or similar industry. The goal of benchmarking is to identify areas for improvement and to establish performance targets that will enable the organization to achieve best in class performance. There are different types of benchmarking, including process benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization's processes to those of other organizations that are recognized as best in class in that area. This can help identify opportunities to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and improve quality. The second one is a strategy benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization's strategic goals and objectives to those of other organizations in the same industry. This can help identify opportunities to improve the organization's competitive position, market share, and profitability. And last one is performance benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization performance against other organizations in the same industry using key performance indicators KPIs such as revenue growth, profitability, customer satisfaction, and employee productivity. This can help identify areas where the organization is underperforming and provide a basis for setting performance targets that will enable the organization to improve its competitive positions. Continuous improvement is a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating waste and improving processes in an organization. It's a fundamental principle of lean manufacturing and also known as Kaizen. Continuous improvement involves constantly seeking ways to improve the organization products, services, and processes to achieve better quality, increase efficiency, and reduce costs. There are some key components in continuous improvement, such as identifying areas to improve. This involves reviewing the organization processes, products, and services to identify areas where improvement can be made. The second one is analyzing the root cause of problem. This involving using tools such as cause and effect diagram, Pareto charts, and process flow diagram to identify the underlying cause of problem. Developing solution, this involves using the structured problem-solving approach such as Plan, Do, Check, Act PDCA cycle to develop and implement solution to address the root cause of a problem. Implementing and monitoring changes. This involves implementing the solution developed and monitoring the result to ensure that the desired improvement have been achieved. Standardizing processes is the last one. This involves documenting and standardizing processes to ensure that improvements are sustained over time and that best practices are shared throughout the organization. So, continuous improvement is an ongoing process that requires commitment, collaborations, and a culture of continuous learning and improvement. It's enable organization to achieve greater efficiency, productivity, and quality, and do better meet the need of the customers. Quality assurance and management are essential components of any successful organization that aims to deliver products or services of constantly high quality. Quality assurance involves the process of verifying that product or services meet or exceed customer expectation and meet all relevant standards and regulations. Quality management, on the other hand, refers to the overall strategy and approach to ensure quality is maintained throughout the organization and its processes. So there are several key elements of quality assurance and management. First one is quality planning. This involves defining quality standards, getting goals, and outlining the process needed to achieve these standards. Quality control. This involves monitoring and inspecting products and services to ensure they meet the specific quality standard. Quality improvement. This involves continuous monitoring and evaluation of processes to identify areas for improvement and implementing changes to enhance quality. Quality assurance is involved in ensuring that the processes are followed correctly and that quality standards are constantly met. Training and education. This involves providing employees with the necessary training and education to ensure that they are knowledgeable about quality standards and processes. And lastly, and most importantly, customer satisfaction. This involves understanding customer needs and expectation and incorporating customer feedback into the quality management process. By implementing effective quality assurance and management practices, organization can improve customer satisfaction, reduce costs associated with rework and scrap, and increase efficiency and productivity. Quality assurance and management are integral to achieving long-term success and maintaining a competitive advantage in today's marketplace. The strategic product and service design is a critical aspect of any organization's success. It involves the process of creating, developing, and refining the products and services that an organization offers to its customer. The essence of organizations indeed the goods and services it offers, as these are what customers interact with and what ultimately drive revenue and growth. A well designed product or service can provide a competitive advantage by meeting the needs and expectation of customers in a unique and effective way. A strategic product and service design involve a range of activities including market research, ideations, prototyping, testing, and launch. The goal is to create products and services that are not only innovative and appealing to the customer but also align with the organization's broader goals and objectives. Effective product and service design can have a range of benefits for organizations. For example, a well-designed product and services can generate new revenue streams, increase customer loyalty, and drive repeated businesses. Effective product and service design can streamline processes and reduce costs, making an organization more efficient and profitable. A unique and well-designed product and service can provide a competitive advantage in marketplace, helping an organization to stand out from its competitors. Also, a well-designed product or service can meet the needs and expectation of customers more effectively, leading to higher level of customer satisfaction and loyalty. So overall, service product, a strategic product and service design is a critical aspect of any organization's success. By creating product and service that are innovative, effective, and aligned with the organization goal and objective, organization can drive growth, increase efficiency, and improve customer satisfaction. So why we should develop new product or services? This is a very significant question that we need to ask. So there are some answers to this. The first thing is basically that new product or service can give firms a competitive advantage in the marketplace, right? Also, new product or service provide benefit to the company. Companies develop new product or services to exploit existing capabilities, and also companies you can use the new product development to block out competitors. So these are the answer to the question that why develop new products or services. Every stakeholders in organization might have different roles playing in developing those products or services. For example, engineering, they provide the expertise, marketing, understand the marketplace, so they have the input about the marketplace, counting is scorekeeper, finance judge about the finance impact, designer handle the product design and creations or all those things, purchasing identify the best suppliers at best for our product, and also suppliers bring opportunity for improvement, reduce financial risk. Define, measure, analyze, design, verify, which is a stand for DMADV, is a methodology used in Six Sigma for designing and developing new products, services, or processes. So it is a structural approach that helps organizations to create new product or services that meet or exceed customer requirement and are efficient and cost effective to produce. There are five stages of DMADV. In this stage, the goals and objective of a project are defined and the project team is established. The team identifies the customer needs and requirements and define the project scope and timeline. Measure. In this stage, data is collected to quantify the current performance of the existing product, service, or process. The team identifies the key metrics that will be used to measure the success of the project. Analyze. In this stage, the team analyzes the data collected in the previous stage to identify the root cause of any problem or issues. The team uses statistical tools and techniques to identify the factors that are most critical to the success of the project. The fourth stage is design. In this stage, the team uses the information gathered in the previous stage to develop and design a new product, service, or process that meets or exceeds the customer requirements. The team also develop a plan for implementing the testing the new design. And the last stage is verify. In the final stage, the team tests and verifies the new design to ensure that it meets customer requirements and it's efficient and cost effective to produce. The team also develop a plan for monitoring and measuring the ongoing performance of the new design. So DMADV is a powerful methodology for creating new product, service, or process that meet or exceed customer requirements while being efficient and cost effective to produce. By following a structured approach, organization can reduce the risk of failure and ensure that their new offering are successful in the marketplace. There are differences between DMAIC and DMADV. We already explained what is DMADV, but both of these methodologies are used to improve quality and efficiency. There are some key differences. So DMAIC is the stand for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It is used for improving existing process by identifying and eliminating defects and reducing variability. There are 5 stages. Define the project goals and objective of define this stage, measure data collected to understand the current performance of the process, analyze the team analyze the data to identify the root cause. So from here is different from DMADV, where we're looking to improve. The team develop and implement solution to address the root cause of the problem identified in the previous stage. The team tests and validates the solution to ensure they are effective. And in the final stage is control. The team develop a plan for monitoring and sustaining the improvement made to the process. The team also develops a plan for responding to any issues that may arise. In summary, DMAIC is used to improving existing process, while DMADV is used for designing and developing new products, service, or processes. While both methodologies share some similarity in terms of use of statistical tools and techniques, they have different objectives and the stage of two methodology are not exactly the same. The House of Quality is a tool used in Quality Function Deployment or QFD, which is a structured approach to product design and development. The House of Quality is a matrix that helps the design team to identify customer needs and translate them into a specific technical requirement for the product. So the House of Quality have several components which are arranged in the shape of a house. The main components are customer need, or we call it voice of the customer. This is the foundation of the House of Quality. The design team identify the list all the customer needs and requirements for the product. These needs may be gathered through customer survey, feedback, or other means. Then we have technical requirements. The design team identifies the technical requirements needed to meet each customer need. These technical requirements should be specific, measurable, and achievable. The team should also prioritize the technical requirement based on their importance to the customer. Then we have relationship metrics. These metrics allow the relationship between customer needs and technical requirement. The design team uses symbols to identify the strength of the relationship between each customer needs and technical requirements. We do have customer competitive assessment or evaluations. This component of a house of quality shows how the product compares to the competitive competitions in terms of meeting customer needs and technical requirements. The design team should identify the strengths and weaknesses of the product compared to the competitions. We do also have design priorities. This component help the design team to prioritize the technical requirements based on their importance to the customer and the company goals. The team can use a weighted scoring system to assign priorities to each technical requirement. Then we do have design parameters. This component shows the target values for each technical requirements. The team can use benchmark or standards to set these target values. And the last step, we have verification. This is a final component of a house of quality, shows how the design team will verify that the product meets each technical requirement. The team should identify and test and measure that will be used to verify product's performance. The house of quality help the design team to understand the customer needs and requirements and to prioritize the technical requirements to meet those needs. It also helps the team to communicate the technical requirements to other departments and stakeholders involved in product development process. What is quality management? Is basically include everything we do to make sure we produce and deliver our company's products and service to one of those specs and at appropriate cost. Quality management is also include making sure goods arrive on time. It's also ensure the company's goals and services are consistent. So basically, meeting or exceeding customer expectation, also the characteristic of a product and services that bear on its ability to satisfy a status or employer needs. A product or services that is free of any faults or anything. There are also four concepts here: value perspective, confirmation perspective, quality of confirmation, and the specification. So by looking into value perspective, we're looking into like quality must be judged in part and how well the characteristic of a particular product or service align with the needs of the specific user. When we're looking into conformance or perspective, a quality perspective that focus on whether or not the product was made or a service was performed as intended. Quality of conformance extend to which process is able or is able to deliver output that conforms to the design specification. And of course, when we're looking at the specification, target, and tolerance determined by designer of good and services. So quality assurance is a systematic process that aims to ensure that product or service meets or exceeds a specific quality standard. It involves establishing processes and procedures to monitor and verify that the output of the particular service or product adhere to the defined requirements, specification, and expectation. In other words, quality assurance is the process of implementing a set of practices and procedures that ensure that products and services meet and exceed customer expectation. The goal of quality assurance is to prevent defects and errors, ensure consistency, and improve the overall quality of the product and or service. Is an ongoing process that require constant monitoring, evaluation, improvement to ensure the quality standards are continually met. Quality assurance is part of any business or organizations as it helps to build customer confidence and trust in the product and services being offered. By implementing robust quality assurance program, businesses can reduce costs, improve customer satisfaction, and enhance their reputation in the market. So quality standard created in 1987 and revised in 1994, 2000, 2015 to improve the product quality, quality operation process, confidence in organization, internationally recognized and prescribed document for all processes affecting the quality. TQM or Total Quality Management is an approach to quality management that aims to achieve continuous improvement in the quality of a product and service offered by an organization. It is a customer focused approach that involves all employees in organization from top management to frontline workers in continuous effort to improve the quality. So there are some principles here: customer focus, leadership environment, customer continuous improvement, employee empowerment, quality assurance, a strategic partnership, and a strategic quality plan. TQM involve implementation of various quality management techniques like a statistical process control, Six Sigma, Kaizens, and to achieve continuous improvement in quality it required commitment from top management to provide necessary resources and support for quality improvement effort. The benefit of TQM includes improved customer satisfaction, increased efficiency, reduce costs, and improve competency as well. By focusing on quality, organization can enhance their reputation and increase customer loyalties, leading to increased revenue and profitability. People view quality by comparing features and characteristics of good and service to a set of expectation. So the gap model recognizes that there are ways to mismanage the creation and delivery of the high levels of qualities. So you can see from this picture is illustrate where we can identify those gaps. So transportation plays a very important role in the economy and society as a whole. It enables the movement of people and goods from one place to another, facilitate trade, commerce, and social interaction. The role of transportation can be, for example, economic development. Transportation can be seen as essential element in development of economy, employment opportunities. The transportation industry provide employment opportunities for millions of people around the world. Social interactions, transportation also enable people to interact with one another. Accessibility as well. Transportation plays a critical role in ensuring that people have access to essential services such as healthcare, education, employment, and also it has environmental impact, which is very significant. Um, Efforts are there being made to reduce those environmental impact of transportation throughout the use of, for example, alternative fuels, electric vehicle, and other sustainable transportation options. Some of those primary mode of transportation are motor carriers or motorways or highways. Then we have railways or railroads, air carrier, water or shipment, pipeline, intermodal, as well as six mode. The first mode of transportation is motor carrier, motorways, or highways, widely used mode of transportation in domestic supply chain. Economic structure of motor carriers industry contributes to vast number of carriers in the industry. It is compromised of for hire and private fleet operations. There are different methods there: truckload carriers, less than truckload, and it can be also a small package carrier. The next mode of transportation is a railroad or railways. Activity level have been achieved despite the lack of direction accessibility to all parts of supply chain. It is important to note that the railroads or railways are usually or natural monopolies. There are two carrier type here, line haul and short line. So line haul is provide service between major markets and customers within those markets, and short line carriers provide the local and regional links between individual customer and the national rail network of the railroad. As we know, one of the mode of transportation is air carrier. So it can be combination carrier, move a freight and passenger at the same time. It can be just air cargo carrier. They're just looking into letters, envelope, package. Good examples are DHL. It can be integrated carrier, provide door-to-door services, so they can come to your place, pick up the items with motorbikes or ute and take it to the center. From the center, they take it with the truck to the airport, and from there goes on and it reaches to the destination. It can be non-integrated, means probably we need to take the package to the airport and it's like an airport to airport service, and when it's reached the destination, someone from there need to go and collect it from the airport. The next mode of transportation, which one of the main mode of transportation for international trade, is water or shipment. So it's a major facilitator of the international trade with more than 80% of all the international freight movement. There are two primary carrier type there, the liner and charter. So liner employ a wide variety of ship in a fixed route. Charter lease ship to customer on a time basis to follow the routes of the customer they're choosing. There are options there. We can use container ship, bulk carrier, tankers, general cargo shipments, or roll on, roll off, or RO vessels. Another mode of transportation is a pipeline, unique mode of transportation as the equipment is fixed in place and the product moves through the high volume. Three primary types. It can be gathering line, very small move oil from both onshore and offshore production to the site of central collection point. Trunk line, bring raw oil from extraction point to refineries and also refined product. A pipeline carries petroleum products from refinery to large fuel terminals. And of course, it is very important to note that usually in the world we will use mix of these modes of transportation, or we call them intermodal transportation. It is usually involved two or three or even more modes to move shipments. So logistic managers always look for the best way to move shipment by taking advantage of multiple modes of transportation, each having set and useful characteristics. Now, from beginning, probably you were thinking, what is sixth mode of transportation? It's basically moving from a physical world to digital world online, right? Product like movies, books, softwares, music, all converted to digital format. We don't need to physically transport them anymore. So let's look at some of those data. Sales of downloaded music were 6.85 billion in 2014 versus sales of CDs and vinyl albums at 25.9 billion in 2021. Sales of ebook reached to 5.69 billion in 2014, 18.13 billion in 2020, and are projected to reach to 23 billion in 2026. Probably we all are aware of Netflix. So streaming subscriber base reached to 221 million paid subscribers worldwide in the first quarter of 2022. Information in general plays a very crucial role in supply chains because it allows businesses to make informed decisions about how to manage and optimize the flow of goods and services from suppliers all the way to the customers. So, supply chain is a very complex, global, and demand driven phenomenon. Thus, information and knowledge turn out to be the key driver for effective planning, execution, and evaluation of the key business function. The accurate and real-time information across the supply chain is paramount for success for each supply chain partners. Overall, information is very important to supply chain, helping businesses to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and better serve their customers. So the prefix to achieving the seven rights in logistics is actually right information. We mentioned seven rights. Let's have a look at what are those. So the seven right is a concept used in logistics to ensure that the correct product is delivered to the right place at the right time, in the right quantity, with the right quality, at the right cost, and the right customer. These seven rights are essential for businesses to meet customer expectation, improve efficiency, and optimize their supply chain operation. Right product is the correct product must be delivered, meeting the specification and requirements of the customers. Right place. The product must be delivered to the correct location, which can include a warehouse, distribution center, retail store, or end customer. Right time. Delivery must be made on time and within the agreed upon time frame. This is critical to meet customer expectation and avoid any delays. Right quantities. The correct quantity of product must be delivered without overstocking or understocking. Right quality. The product must meet the quality standards expected by the customer. This includes factors such as packaging, labeling, and presentation. Right cost. The delivery of the product must be cost effective for the business without compromising the quality of the service or product. Right customer, the product definitely must be delivered to the right customer, whether it is a retail store, end consumer, or business. So by focusing on all these seven rights in logistic, businesses can ensure that the supply chain operation are optimized to meet customer needs, improve efficiency, and drive growth. For actionable knowledge flow in supply chain, information must be accessible, relevant, accurate, timely, and transferable. When we're talking about the supply chain innovations, one of the first technology come to mind is cloud computing. It's a technology that enables the delivery of computing resources and services over the internet rather than storing data and running application on a local server or personal computer. Cloud computing allows users to access resources and services from remote server or data centers. There are some key characteristics of the cloud computing. For example, on-demand self-services, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and measure services as well. There are many benefits outside cloud computing as well. For example, cost saving, flexibility and scalability, enhanced security, improved collaborations. In general, cloud computing is a powerful technology that can help business improve efficiency, reduce costs, and enhance competitiveness. At the same time, we're looking to mobile computing using the supply chain executions and event management task approval, going mobile with basic visibility and traceability. Mobile computing is basically the use of portable computing devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops to access and use computing resources and services from anywhere. Mobile computing devices are connected to wireless networks such as Wi-Fi, enabling users to access the internet and cloud-based services while on the go. When we're talking about the supply chain innovations, one of the first technology come to mind is cloud computing. It's a technology that enables the delivery of computing resources and services over the internet rather than storing data and running application on a local server or personal computer. Cloud computing allows users to access resources and services from remote server or data centers. There are some key characteristics of the cloud computing. For example, on-demand self-services, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and measure services as well. There are many benefits outside cloud computing as well. For example, cost saving, flexibility and scalability, enhanced security, improved collaborations. In general, cloud computing is a powerful technology that can help business improve efficiency, reduce costs, and enhance competitiveness. At the same time, we're looking to mobile computing using the supply chain executions and event management task approval, going mobile with basic visibility and traceability. Mobile computing is basically the use of portable computing devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops to access and use computing resources and services from anywhere. Mobile computing devices are connected to wireless networks such as Wi-Fi, enabling users to access the internet and cloud-based services while on the go. What is Industry 4.0 or Fourth Industrial Revolution? So Industry 4.0 as a next phase in the digitalization of manufacturing sector, driven by four disruption. The astonishing rise of data volume, computation power, and connectivity, especially new low power wide area network. The emergence of analytics and business intelligence capability, new form of human-machine interaction such as touch interface and augmented reality system, and also improvement in transferring digital instructions to physical worlds such as robotics and 3D printing. So you can see how the industry changed from Industry 4.1 to Industry 2 to Industry 3 and Industry 4.0, from mechanizations and introduction of steam and water power all the way to smart factories, autonomous system, machine learnings, and the rest of the emerging technologies. You mentioned TPS, or Toyota Production System, is a manufacturing system developed by Toyota in 1950. It is based on the principle of lean manufacturing and designed to eliminate waste, improve quality, and increase efficiency in production system. The TPS comprises of two main pillars, which is just in time, you can see from the picture here, and Jitoka. The PDS also emphasize on continuous improvement or Kaizen in all aspects of the production system. This means that workers are empowered to basically identify problems such as improvement to the system, leading to a culture of ongoing improvement. So you can see we have term Jidoka is a quality at the source, Muda, waste and inefficiency can be minimized, Kanban in a manual, it's a manual system used to controlling the movement of the parts. Haijunka is variation in production volume led to waste, and Kaizen, which may we mention continuous improvement. Overall, the TPS has become widely recognized and influential approach to manufacturing and has been adopted by many companies in variety of industries. Its focus on efficiency, quality, continuous improvement has helped Toyota become one of the most leading automakers. Lean operation is a management philosophy that aims to maximize efficiency and eliminate waste in business processes. It is based on principle of TPS, or Toyota Production System, and focus on creating value for customers while minimizing resources and reducing waste. The main principle of lean operation includes defining value for the customer perspective and ensuring that every step is in the process of add value to the product or service. Understanding the flow of the work and identify areas of waste that can be eliminated, ensuring that work flows smoothly and efficiently through the system without delays or any bottlenecks. And also establishing a system where work is pulled through the process by customer demand rather than being pushed through by production schedule. Pursuing continuous improvement in all aspects of the operation with the goal of eliminating waste and creating greater value for customers. In general, lean operation can be applied in wide range of industry from manufacturing to healthcare to service industry. It involves a collaborative effort across all levels of organization with the focus on empowering employees to identify areas for improvement and make changes to the system. By implementing lean operation, organizations can benefit from greater productivity, lower costs, shorter cycle time, higher quality, and ultimately increase customer satisfaction. In lean operation, waste refers to any activity or process that does not add value to the product or service being produced. Waste is also referred to as MUDA in TPS. The goal, as we mentioned, is to identify and eliminate any waste in process, increase efficiency, reduce costs, and improve quality. There are seven ways in lean philosophy or lean operations. The first one can be excess inventory. When we holding excess inventory, which ties of capital increases the risk of damage or loss. Producing more than is needed, which leads to excess inventory, that's called overproduction, increased costs and reduced flexibility. Waiting time, any delays or waiting time in production process can which cause bottlenecks and reduce efficiency. Transportation moving product or material unnecessarily, which can increase cost and cause damage or loss. Processing, performing unnecessary or inefficient operation, which can add time and cost to production processes. Motion, unnecessary movement of people or equipment, which can cause fatigue, injuries, and waited time, and also product defect, producing products or services that do not meet customer requirement, which can lead to rework, scrap, and customer dissatisfaction. So by identifying and eliminating waste, organization can improve their processes, reduce costs, and increase customer satisfaction. Where lean operation involve a continuous effort to identify those waste with the goal of achieving maximum efficiency and value for the customer. Just in time, or JIT, is a lean manufacturing strategy that involves producing and delivering products just in time to meet customer demand without building up excessive inventory. JIT is based on principle of producing only what is needed when is needed and in the quantity that is required. So basically there are some benefit that just in time have. Just in time minimize the amount of inventory that must be stored and managed, which reduce inventory carrying costs as well as the risk of inventory obsolescence and waste. JIT enables organization to produce goods more efficiently by reducing waste, minimizing setup time, and improving flow through the production process. JIT requires a high level of quality control as there is a little room for error or rework. This focus on quality can help to improve product quality and reduce defect. And of course, the last one would be faster response time. This method or philosophy enables organization to respond more quickly to changes in customer demand as they can adjust production level in real time to match changing requirement. So implementing JIT requires focus on continuous improvement and commitment to creating culture of efficiency and waste reduction. Organization must also work closely with supplier to ensure that they can deliver materials and components on a just-in-time basis. JIT requires a high level of coordination and communication throughout the supply chain, as any disruptions or delay can have a significant impact on production schedule and customer satisfaction. Vendor managed inventory is another lean inventory management system where a supplier manages the inventory level of a customer. With vendor managed inventory, the supplier is responsible for monitoring the inventory levels, forecasting demand, and replenishing the inventory at the customer location. This is typically done using electronic data interchange (EDI) or other automated system that allows for real-time tracking of inventory levels at customer demand. So there are some benefit out of that VMI or vendor managed inventory, reducing inventory carrying costs, improve inventory accuracy, increase efficiency, and improve customer service. Implementing VMI required close collaboration and communication between supplier and the customer, as well as high degree of trust and transparency. It's also required the use of sophisticated technology system and data analytics to track inventory levels and forecast demand accurately. In overall, VMO is very powerful lean or inventory management strategy can help to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and increase customer satisfaction. Risk can be defined as a potential of an event or action to have an adverse effect on an organization objective or goals. It is the possibility that something unexpected or undesirable may happen, and it can arise from various sources such as financial uncertainty, legal liability, technical failure, natural disaster, human errors, or other unexpected event. In business, risk can be categorized as internal or external, and it can impact the organization reputation, financial performance, and strategic goals. Effective risk management involves identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risk and taking proactive steps to mitigate or manage them. Risk can be managed in several ways, including risk avoidance, risk mitigation, risk transfer, or risk acceptance. Risk management frameworks such as ISO 31000 provide a systematic approach to identifying and managing risk and help an organization establish a risk management culture that promotes transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement. Understanding and managing risk is a critical component of strategic planning and decision making, and organizations that effectively manage risk are better equipped to achieve their objectives and succeed in a rapidly changing business environment. Risk drivers are the factors that increase the likelihood or impact of a risk occurring. They can vary depending on a specific industry or organization, but some common risk drivers are economic conditions, fluctuations in economy, interest rates, or currency exchange rates can impact the financial stability of an organization and increase its exposure to financial risk. The other one can be technological changes. Rapid advancement in technology can disrupt industry, create new risk, and require organizations to adapt quickly to stay competitive. The third one is regulatory environment. Changes in laws and regulation can impact an organization's compliance requirement, increase legal liabilities, and affect its reputation. Supply chain disruption is another driver. Dependence on a single supplier or logistic partner, geopolitical events, natural disaster, or other disruption in supply chain can impact organization ability to meet customer demand and increase operational and financial risk. Human factors, human errors, employee misconduct, or labor disputes can impact an organization's reputation, legal liabilities, and operational efficiency. Environmental factors, climate change, natural disaster, or other environmental risk can impact an organization's physical assets, supply chain, and reputation. It is important for organizations to identify and monitor risk drivers to proactively manage their exposure to risk and reduce the likelihood and impact of negative events. This can be achieved through risk assessment, scenario planning, and regular review of risk management strategies. Risk management is a process of identifying, assessing, and controlling or mitigating risks that may negatively impact an organization's objective or activities. It involves identifying potential risk, evaluating the likelihood and potential impact of those risks, and implementing measures to control or mitigate those risks. So we try to identify things that could go wrong, stopping them from ongoing wrong, and reducing the consequences when things to go wrong and recovering after things have gone wrong. The risk management process typically involve a couple of process steps, or we can identify four of them. The first step is risk identification. This involves identifying potential risks that may impact an organization activities or objective. This can be done through various methods such as risk assessment, brainstorming session, and reviewing past incidents. The second one is risk assessment. This involves evaluating the likelihood and potential impact of identified risks. This can be done through various risk analysis techniques such as risk scoring, risk matrices, and also Monte Carlo simulation. The third one is risk control and mitigation. This involves implementing measures to control or mitigate identified risk. This can involve implementing internal control, developing contingency plan, and also transferring risk through insurance or other risk transfer mechanism. Risk monitor and review is a fourth step. This involves monitoring and reviewing the effectiveness of risk management measures and adjusting them as necessary. This can be done through regular risk reporting, incident reporting, and investigations, and review of risk management policies and procedures. Effective risk management can help organizations to identify potential threats, reduce the likelihood and impact of negative events, and improve decision making by providing more information about potential risk and their potential impact. Failure mode and effective analysis is a structured approach used to identify and analyze potential failure in a system, process, product, or service, and the potential effects. The purpose of failure mode and effect analysis is to anticipate potential failure and take correction action to prevent or mitigate them before they occur. It is proactive risk management tool that helps organization identify and prioritize the most critical risk and take action to minimize the impact. FMEA is typically conducted in a team-based approach and involve three steps. The first step is identification of potential failure mode. The team identifies all possible ways in which system or process could fail, including the cause and potential effect. The second step is the assessment of the severity, likelihood, and detectability of each failure mode. Each failure mode is evaluated based on its potential impact, likelihood of occurrence, and detectability before it causes harm or damage. And the third step is development of mitigation and prevention strategy, which the team develops and implements a strategy to prevent or mitigate the effect of potential failure modes, prioritizing those with the highest risk rating. This basically analysis is widely used risk management tools in various industries, including manufacturing, healthcare, aerospace, and automotive. It can be used at various stages of a product or process life cycle, including design, development, testing, and production. Maintenance management involves the management of an organization maintenance activities which are designed to ensure that equipments, machines, and facilities are kept in good working order. The main goal of maintenance management is to minimize downtime, extend the life of equipments, and maximize the productivity and profitability of an organization. Maintenance management involves a range of activities, including the development of maintenance strategies and procedures, the scheduling of maintenance activities, the monitoring of equipment performance, the management of maintenance personnel, and the implementation of maintenance programs. Some of those key elements of maintenance are reactive maintenance, also known as breakdown maintenance, is a maintenance strategy where repair and maintenance activities are performed only after failure or breakdown has occurred in equipment or system. In other words, maintenance is only carried out when the problem arises and equipment or system downtime occur as a result of the failure. This type of maintenance is often unplanned and can lead to higher costs due to the need for emergency repair, loss of production time, and potential safety hazard. The second one is preventive maintenance. This involves regularly scheduled maintenance activities designed to prevent equipment failure and downtime. And also be looking into predictive maintenance. This involves the use of data and analytics to predict when equipment failure is likely to happen so that maintenance activities can be scheduled in advance. There are benefits of maintenance management as well. So effective maintenance management can help organizations to reduce cost, improve equipment reliability, and increase productivity. It involves the use of a range of tools and techniques such as maintenance planning software, reliability engineering, condition based monitoring to ensure that maintenance activities are carried out in the most effective or efficient way possible. Risk mitigation is the process of identifying, assessing, and taking action to reduce or eliminate the impact and probability of identified risk. It involves taking a step to reduce the likelihood or severity of a potential risk and the impact on any organization, project, or activity. Risk mitigation strategy can include implementing controls, developing contingency plan, changing the process or procedures to avoid the risk altogether. The goal of risk mitigation is to minimize the impact of potential risk so they do not cause significant harm or disruption to an organization operation or objective. Effective risk mitigation can help prevent financial losses, legal liabilities, and damage to reputation and ensure the continuity of operation. It is an essential part of risk management and is often carried out in conjunction with risk identification, risk assessment, and risk monitoring to ensure the risk is managed effectively over time. A risk mitigation plan is actually a document that outlines a strategy and action to be taken to reduce or eliminate potential risk to a project or operation. The plan should identify potential risk, assess the likelihood and impact, and define measures to prevent or mitigate the risk. Here, the five steps are identifying the risk. The first step to identify all possible risks that may impact the project or operation. This can be done by reviewing historical data, conducting brainstorming session, consulting with stakeholders, and using other risk identification technique. The second step is assessing risk or risk assessment. Once the risk have been identified, the next step is to assess the likelihood and impact of each risk. This will help prioritize which risks require immediate action. Develop mitigation strategy based on the assessment. The next step is to develop a strategy to mitigate or eliminate the identified risk. These strategies may include processes changes, equipment upgrades, contingency plan, and other measures. Assign responsibility as well. Each risk mitigation strategy should be assigned to a person or team responsible for implementing and monitoring the plan. And monitor and review. The risk mitigation plan should monitor and review regularly to ensure that it may remain effective and up to date. Any changes in the operation or external environment that may impact the risk should be taken into account and adjustment made to the plan accordingly. And that's it. This is a review for entire 9 sessions that we have together. I hope these sessions were fruitful for yourself and you learn a lot in this subject, operation management. I wish you all the best and good luck with your study. Thank you.